It's now time for Energy Insights, where you get an inside view and local perspectives of all the oil and gas progress going on in the Mid-Ohio Valley. This program is being brought to you by the Southeastern Ohio Oil and Gas Association and can be heard every Saturday at 9 a.m. on local radio WMOA AM 1490 and ESPN radio WJAW FM 100.9 and AM 630. It's now time for the show. Here's Johnny Wharf, your local host.
Another Saturday morning and another program of Energy Insights brought to you by the Southeastern Ohio Oil and Gas Association. We had an opportunity to speak with Kennedy Copeland, and we get to speak to her again. I ask and you get, don't you won't. It's the way the world works, and I wanted to expound upon what we were talking about before. But external affairs of the Ohio Oil and Gas Association, help me out, Energy Education Program. Yes. That's why they call it UJEEP, I'm sure. I was talking to... And we're sitting at Merida College right now, but I was talking to Coach Waddle, who's the football coach here, on the radio a couple of weeks ago, and I brought up how much different being a football coach is now than it was when he arrived here 8 years ago. And I said, I see on Twitter, and I see, and he said, it's crazy just how what you think is coaching, it turns into, social media and outreach and all these things that touch people in different ways. You're a young person, so I'm sure you're at the front of that, right?
Absolutely. My generation is completely online. It's where they get all of their news. People don't even read newspapers anymore. They're going to Twitter. So when you're not online and not on social media, you are letting other places get their media to students and to young people first before you are. And a big problem of the oil and gas industry is we haven't been on social media. So we've been allowing a lot of our competitors, a lot of people that don't like us, to get the news to people in my generation first. So we haven't had a chance to play offense. We've been playing a lot of defense.
Yeah, and so we're playing a little bit of offense right now on the radio, over the air, free broadcast radio, and telling the listeners about some of the things about this industry, and particularly it becomes a sexy industry to be a part of, I think, for young people coming straight out of college, just based on, not to use the word energy, but as it pertains to there are things happening.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an energized industry, if you will, absolutely. But it's also kind of become a cool industry to be a part of because we're the rebels. It used to be in the 70s, they were rebels then, and now we're the rebels now of kind of going in there, and people they love to hate us, but we want people to absolutely love us. And that's what the big competition is out there with people that don't like us, is trying to just tell them that they have no reason not to.
All right, so I brought up Twitter, and are you on Twitter and personally and or with the company or all the above?
All of the above, yeah, so absolutely. But I always, when I'm scrolling through my Twitter page or Facebook or any social media, I'm looking for what are my friends talking about, not necessarily what businesses are talking about. So a big problem and a big obstacle that we've faced in businesses and businesses' social media is people don't really care what the industry says. They want to hear what their friends say. So the biggest thing is we need third-party advocates that are out there online talking about that they love this industry and how much it's impacted their day-to-day lives, because that's what resonates with people my age, not necessarily businesses.
All right, now this might be a curveball because I don't know what the answer is, but I think you're as interesting as people say, is your follower. So how many followers do you have? If you say 10, this is a softball. If you say more than that, it's a good fastball, and you're going to hit it.
I have 30,000 personal followers.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer. Okay, and then on a given day, are you on social media like a couple times a day, or are you just always following it, or how does that work?
Well, as external affairs, I'm on our business social media a lot of the day. But on my personal, as soon as I get home, as soon as I'm done with work, I'm checking it. I'm checking to see what my friends are up to. I'm checking to see what I follow, what the news is. I mean, I'll even admit, as much as I love the news, I'm getting a lot of it from social media.
And then as far as Kennedy Copeland on a given day, do you travel much? Where is your location that you work out of? And then, where do you work mostly?
Yeah. So I live in Columbus, Ohio, but I work in a little bit east of that in Granville, Ohio. But UJEEP, we actually represent all of Ohio. So we're traveling every single week all over Ohio as much as we can. But then personally, for myself on the weekends, I'm always out traveling too.
All right. My job every day is to learn something new. I've done that today, so my listeners have as well. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having us.
All right. Kennedy Copeland with UJEEP, here our guest on Energy Insight.
Thank you for listening to Energy Insights, brought to you by the Southeastern Ohio Oil and Gas Association. Tune in every Saturday at 9 a.m. on WMOA and ESPN Radio WJAW as Johnny Wolf brings you your local and inside perspectives of the oil and gas progress going on in the Mid-Ohio Valley.